Fans of the hit Broadway musical Hamilton are hoping the show will return, but it won't be next year at the Kennedy Center. Good morning, I'm Michelle Basch.
I'm John Aaron. Yeah, the producers are canceling plans for a Kennedy Center run in 2026 because of President Trump's shakeup there. Now WTOP's Neil Augenstein says the interim head of the Kennedy Center is firing his shot in return.
Hamilton's third run at the Kennedy Center was supposed to be next March and April, but now the show's producer says in a statement, our show simply cannot in good conscience participate and be part of this new culture that's being imposed on the Kennedy Center. Producer Jeffrey Seller calls the Kennedy Center a sacred setting that should be protected from politics. President Trump's interim director of the Kennedy Center, Richard Grenell, responded on X, saying this is a publicity stunt that will backfire and that the producer and show creator Lin-Manuel Miranda don't want Republicans going to their shows. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
Changes have been made to air traffic control staffing levels at Reagan National Airport. As we hear from WTOP's Dan Ronan, they come in the wake of the deadly January mid-air collision between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines passenger jet.
On the night of the crash, one air traffic controller at Reagan was supervising both helicopters and arrivals and departures of planes. A manager made the decision to combine the duties about an hour earlier than the FAA rules allow. Now the Wall Street Journal is reporting officials want one controller to exclusively handle helicopters in the crowded, very complex airspace near Reagan. Meanwhile, aviation professionals are sounding the alarm about the overall very old state of the nation's aviation system. Former National Air Traffic Controllers Association Paul Rinaldi testified on Capitol Hill this week.
Controllers and technicians are working with the best 1980s and 90s technology, from paper strips to floppy disk, out-of-service ground radars, and broken communication system.
Dan Ronan, WTOP News.
Hang on to those hats. We're under a wind advisory today. 7 News First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff has the latest.
Gusty winds today, a big factor across the region, and that's why there's a wind advisory in effect through midnight tonight. Gusts could be as high as 55 miles per hour, sustained winds 20 to 30, and coming out of a cooler direction, you'll definitely feel it. Temperatures may get near 50, but those winds will make it feel like the 30s. Just be prepared for a brisk, kind of blustery feel through the afternoon. Into the evening, the winds will continue for a little bit longer, but then should subside. Tomorrow, the breeze is much less noticeable, but still sticking around.
Stay with us for the full forecast in just minutes.
Are your eyes or throat a little itchy these days? Springtime allergy season is here, and WTOP's Mike Murillo has some tips for surviving if all that pollen gets to you.
We are already seeing moderate to high levels of tree pollen in the air.
Dr. Rachel Schreiber, an allergist in Rockville, Maryland, says right now maple, elm, and juniper pollen is out. And the most problematic trees, hickory, birch, and oaks, are not far behind. Grass is coming too.
If you have a medication plan, we recommend starting it now so you're sort of ahead of the game.
Of course, there are over-the-counter allergy pills and sprays, but she says talk to a doctor before mixing them together. The biggest reason for starting your treatment plan early?
If we can sort of cut it off at the head, if we can control that inflammation at the beginning of the season, hopefully things won't snowball so much as the season goes on.
Also, keep the pollen out of your home by closing your windows, using your AC, wiping down the dog after a walk, and taking showers before bed. Mike Murillo, WTOP News.
More recently fired federal workers are being told to come on back. The CDC is reinstating about 180 employees who were laid off 2 weeks ago. Current and former employees there say emails went out this week to some workers who got termination notices last month. It's not clear how many have gone back to work already. In recent weeks, other federal agencies have also tried to bring back workers who were fired as part of President Trump's effort to shrink the size of the federal government.
Coming up in Money News here on WTOP, something new from Google when it comes to using artificial intelligence. Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.